favor, faites-vous déstabiliser.
After months of being apart, I finally visited my parents in Pleasantview. It had been quite some time since I had seen them, ever since I had moved to Feverfew for pursuing my dream of opening my own private detective office. Mom, Dad, and James were eager to catch up on all the things that had been happening in my life since I had moved away. We spent hours talking and laughing, reminiscing about old times and making new memories. Unfortunately, Vincent and his family were out of town, so I could not meet my niece. And I had a brilliant idea. I decided to invite my parents to come stay with me in Feverfew for a couple of days. I really wanted to show them around, introduce them to my friends, and share with them the new life I had built for myself there. I booked 3 train tickets, and I still have 2 days before my departure to Feverfew, so I decided to spend with Serena in downtown, catching up on all the things with her.
Anna, do you want coffee or tea?
Actually, I was thinking of a bubble tea.
A bubble tea? That's a unique choice, but I don't have it here, so what about going to a cafe?
Well, if that is what you prefer. Serena, can you take me there? I'm not thirsty anymore. Samantha Bowley, a popular anchor of the national news station, was found murdered in an empty manor on Mendoza Lane. It was a single blow to the head, and she died instantly, according to the medical examiner. The case had been ruled a homicide. The manor, which had been unoccupied for years, was recently put on the market by a real estate agent, who apparently is the senior secretary of Feverfew City Council, Matilda Rowe. She seemed to take a freelance job as a realtor selling the manor. Matilda had come to the manor today to prepare the showing to a potential buyer that was scheduled this 4 p.m. Everything seemed to happen in a small circle because the potential buyer was actually Samantha Bowley, the murdered victim, and her boyfriend, Victor Thomas. Matilda immediately called the police, and a technician who was also in the scene called an ambulance. Pleasantview Downtown Police, Officer Abhijit Dipes, and Officer Jordan Hamilton had arrived on the scene and began their investigation, trying to piece together what had happened to Samantha. Both police officers and I had known each other before. We worked together solving the stalking case of Nina Caliente around a year ago before I moved to Feverfew. So, the body was found naked behind the bathtub on the second-floor bathroom, and Matilda, the realtor, was the first one to find it. The body was immediately taken by the forensic team for an autopsy. According to the team, the victim was already dead for 6 hours before the body was found. So far, the officers had interviewed 3 witnesses: Matilda Rowe, the realtor, Jacob Barton, the technician, and the victim's boyfriend, Victor Thomas, who later came to the scene after being called by the police. According to Matilda, she had given Samantha the house's key a couple days ago, as she had signed the first agreement letter for purchasing the house and settled the booking fee payment. Some minor renovations of the house are still needed before they finally sign an MOU that is planned next month. The officers had also done the questioning to Victor Thomas. He was shocked when he got a call telling him that his girlfriend was found dead in their potential future house. He said that last night, he and Samantha indeed came to the house, as she was always excited checking the house. So last night was actually the third time for both of them visiting the house. According to him, they left Samantha's apartment on 4 p.m., then went for movie and dinner somewhere in downtown. After that, they came to the house around 7 p.m., spent around 30 minutes in the house, then he drove Samantha to her apartment, which is located only 10 minutes driving from the house. He said that he could confirm his alibi as the apartment security saw him, and Samantha arrived around 7:40 p.m. Victor just walked Samantha to the apartment's lobby front door before he drove back home. And that was the last time he saw her, and they did not make any contact until this afternoon. Elijah Garcia, the Rosewood apartment security, was also called for an interview to confirm Victor's alibi. He said that he saw Victor and Samantha arrived around 7:40 p.m., and in fact, the alibi was also scientifically proven by the apartment CCTV camera. Both Victor and Samantha were captured by the camera at 4:00 p.m. when they left the apartment, and at 7:40 p.m. when they came back. The security also said that no one came or left the apartment after 7:40 to 10 p.m. After checking the CCTV, there were only a group of 4 people left the apartment on 10:20 p.m. The security could make sure that one of the person from the group was one of the apartment residents, and the 3 others were possibly his friends.
Anna, I'm home, just in case you're looking for me, but I don't think you are.
So Samantha and her boyfriend already had an access to this house and had 3 times came to the house before she was found dead. Samantha was already dead around 6 hours before the body was found today at 2 p.m., meaning she was murdered sometime around at 8 p.m. Victor dropped Samantha off to her apartment and arrived at 7:40. The distance from there to this house is only 10 minutes driving, meaning that there was left 10 minutes for the murder to happen, assuming Samantha went back to the house. Victor is the only potential suspect in this case, but how? How did he take Samantha back to the house, as the security said that no one left the apartment from 7:40 to 10 p.m.? Only a group of 4 people, 2 women and 2 men, left the apartment at 10:20. Until now, the weapon used for the murder has not been found. And not only that, Samantha's clothes were also nowhere to find, as her body was found naked. And Victor, the only potential suspect, could perfectly prove his alibi. I have so many questions in my head right now. What and where is the weapon? And why was Samantha naked? And wait, what is this? Oh no! Sir, how did you know that the woman you saw came back with Victor was Samantha?
Well, I remember her red dress she wore when leaving the apartment earlier with Victor, and also her red hair I saw from behind. Here, see these. There were Victor and Samantha leaving and arrived at the apartment. And here is the CCTV capture of the 4 people leaving the apartment above 10 p.m.
I knew it!
Who are you?
Right. The naked dead body, the boyfriend's perfect alibi. The group of 4 people left the apartment and the vanished weapon that can kill somebody by one single blow to the head. I solved the case.
Officers, can I go now?
Unfortunately, no. Officer Hamilton, could you gather all of the 4 people seen leaving the apartment at 10:20 p.m.? Because Samantha was murdered last night in the second-floor bathroom of this house by one of them, who is actually just a stranger to another 3 people. To create the perfect alibi, the murderer could not commit the crime herself, and one of you had given her a hand.
Herself? You mean the suspect is a woman?
Victor Thomas, do you know at first that jealousy can drive someone crazy enough to commit a murder? And having an affair had never been a wise choice, hadn't it? When seeing the CCTV captured 4 people leaving the apartment, I directly knew that the woman wearing a headscarf was not part of the group, because, compared to the others, she was just too overly dressed. She smuggled herself among the group and wore a full-head scarf and sunglasses just to trick the security.
Wait, what? So, I just don't get it.
Samantha had never returned to the apartment because she had already been dead in the house. The woman captured by the CCTV, kissing with Victor at 7:40, was someone else who was actually just a stranger to 3 people that left at 10:20. Someone that has been in affair with Victor.
What? That's just nonsense. Officers, you had confirmed with the security that I dropped Samantha and walked her to the apartment front door. And Detective, you saw the picture yourself. The woman was Samantha.
Actually, Mr. Garcia only saw you and a woman with red hair in red dress from her back from around 20-meter distance at night. It was not his fault if he assumed that the woman was Samantha, because she dressed the same as he saw earlier when she left the apartment. That was why Samantha was naked, because everything she wore was taken by the suspect.
That proves nothing. And it is funny to listen what you said. Did you find any weapon with any fingerprint?
Wow, I am impressed that you mentioned the weapon as if you knew that it is indeed nowhere to find. Don't worry, because I am not finished yet. So let me explain more. Victor and the suspect had planned the murderer on Samantha. His part was to take Samantha to the house, while the other one waiting inside with the prepared weapon. At 7 p.m., when Samantha and Victor arrived, the other suspect was hiding on the second floor, waiting the right time to kill Samantha in the bathroom by hitting her head. Jealousy, anger, and grudge were enough to multiple her strength to swing a deadly single blow to the head that killed Samantha in an instant.
Detective, we have swept every inch of this house, but unfortunately, we still do not find the weapon.
I am sure that every inch of the house you meant includes the refrigerator. So, tell me your finding inside it.
Well, nothing weapon-like unless you think a soft silicone cake mold can kill somebody.
No, it can't, unless we use it to mold something dense and hard that can disappear by itself within hours.
Ice block.
Correct. Do you notice the watermark around the blood located separately from the body? The suspect used an ice block to hit Samantha's head. She dropped the block on the floor, then left it to melt before fleeing the scene. Using an everyday object like an ice block as a weapon was a smart move. It left little trace behind and could easily be disposed of. But no matter how clever the suspect was, she seemed too panicked to realize that the blood had seeped into the ice block, so it left a puddle of water on the floor when the ice was completely melted in the next morning. In a rush, she undressed Samantha, then changed her cloth. Even though they both have the same hair color, the style is different, so she cut her hair to look like Samantha, at least from behind. No one used the bathroom after that, so the sink pipe must be still full of haircuts. Everything was done in such a rush, leaving some traces that cannot trick my eyes. Some fingerprints must be found on the silicone mold, as well as on the scissors the suspect used to cut her hair, which was probably thrown to the pond in the backyard.
I did not expect that such a clever and meticulous detective like you would be here today. Your analysis is impressive, but you are wrong about me. I did not plan it. I did not even know that she was here that night. It was all her, all along. Celia, she is my ex. We broke up nearly 4 years ago, long before I knew Samantha. She was too obsessed with me. She could not accept the reality that my feeling for her was not there anymore. She stalked, blackmailing my family, even tried to kill herself many times. I am really enough of all those craps she did, because she never stopped. Until one day, she said that if she could not have me, then no one could. I never took that seriously until yesterday. She did what she said to Samantha. I was too shocked at that night. She said that she could set up everything to black sheep me on Samantha's murder, unless I followed her plan. She asked me to take her to Samantha's apartment, kissed her goodbye in front of the door near the CCTV camera to make the scene as if Samantha was still alive. I did not know what her plan after that. I was too broken, confused, and damaged, so I just went home and did not know what to do.
A woman committed suicide last night by drinking a cyanide potion, authorities said this morning. The body of Celia Johansson was discovered in the bedroom of her apartment. Police found a drinking glass with a spoon and crystallized potassium cyanide in the bottom. No suicide note was found. Officer Jordan Hamilton said that police had evidence that she may have consumed cyanide, but had waited for a toxicology report to confirm the evidence. The victim was earlier suspected in the murder of a news anchor, Samantha Bowley. Anna, is this?
Crime is common, Logic is rare.
Not again.
Therefore,
Anna.
it is upon the logic, rather than upon the crime, that you should dwell. History provides us with numerous examples of people who were convinced that they were doing the right thing and committed terrible crimes because of it.